Good afternoon, everybody. I've had some technical problems today because we had a power cut. That means the lights, the electricity and the internet all went off, so I couldn't do any of my uploading to show you our videos. Luckily, the power is back on and I can get recording and sending you some work to do. Don't worry if you haven't got time to do it today. You can catch up and watch this video another time. Okay, so it's time for our maths lesson. In maths this week, we are thinking about time. Yesterday, we looked at when we do things, what time we do them. In the morning, we remembered that we wake up, we get dressed, and we have breakfast. In the evening, we remembered that we have our dinner, we put our pyjamas on, and we go to bed. So, can you remember what we said yesterday? We used one of these for, can you remember what it was called? It's called a clock. Good, well done. So, what do we use a clock for? Telling the time. It tells us what time it is. It tells us if it's breakfast time, it tells us if it's bedtime, it tells us if it's lunchtime or school time. Okay? So, good job. That's what we use a clock for. When we use a clock, we need to use special maths words. So, our special maths words that we're going to learn are o'clock. Can you say that? My turn. O'clock. Your turn? Good job. Well done. Okay, so if you've already watched the video of Mr. Wellard making a clock at school, you should have something a bit like this set up at your home. If you haven't already watched it, go back and watch that, or just copy this and set it up on your floor in front of you. It can be anywhere. I've just done it on here so that you can see. You are going to need two things for the hands of your clock. So one long one or big one and one short or small one. Okay, so the thing with time is that we need to pay attention to where the small hand is pointing to tell us the time. So, can you tell me where my small hand is pointing? What number is my small hand pointing to? What number's this? 1. Fabulous, well done. So, my small hand is pointing to 1. My big hand is pointing to 12. Can you do this for me? Super, well done. So we are going to pretend to be the big hand of the clock. And when we say o'clock, we're going to put our big hand at the top. Because every time the big hand is pointing to 12, pointing straight up, that's when we say o'clock. Okay? Do you think we can give that a go? Okay. My turn. O'clock. Your turn? Wow, that was fab. Well done for joining in. Okay, so we know that our little hand is pointing towards number 1. Our big hand is pointing towards 12, so it's o'clock. Good job. So, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Good job. So, if I move our little hand round like this, where is our little hand pointing now? Let's have a look. What number is it pointing to? 3. Well done. So the little hand is pointing to 3 and the big hand is still pointing to 12. So it must be 3 o'clock. Well done. When the big hand is pointing to 12 and the little hand is pointing to 3, it's 3 o'clock. Well done. Let's have a look. What if my little hand keeps moving? What number is my little hand pointing towards? My little hand. We call these parts of our clock hands. It's a bit funny because they don't look like these hands, do they? But they're telling us, they're pointing a bit like our hands do. Okay, so these are spoons, and you could use spoons or pens or sticks at home. It doesn't matter as long as one is big and one is small. But when we're talking about clocks, we say the word hands, okay? That's what their name is. So we've got a big hand that's pointing to 12, or so what do we say when it points to 12? O'clock. And our little hand is pointing to, can you tell me? Excuse me. Our little hand is pointing to 5. Well done. Our little hand is pointing to 5. So let's look at the clock together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's definitely pointing to 5. And the big hand's still pointing to 12. What time does the clock tell me? 5 o'clock. Good job. Well done. Let's have a go. What about now? What time does the clock tell me? The little hand is pointing to 9. Make a loop and then a line. That's the way we make a 9. The little hand is pointing to 9 and the big hand is pointing to 12 o'clock. So it's pointing to o'clock. 9 o'clock. Well done. Okay, but what about now? What time does the clock say? The big hand is pointing to o'clock and the little hand is also pointing to o'clock. So can we say it's o'clock? No, that doesn't tell us what time it is. So what number is o'clock? Number 12. Good job, well done. 12. So 12 o'clock. Amazing job, guys. Well done. Okay, when I post this video, I'm going to give you some challenges to see if you can remember or show me what some different times look like on your clocks that you've made at home. Do you think you can do that? Amazing. You have done so well. Time is really, really tricky. So if you can remember to say o'clock after the number, then that is absolutely excellent. Well done, everyone. See you soon.